I will say I love Zoom.
We're recording. Stop talking. Hi, everyone. It's Athletics LLC time. Amidst prelims of the championship. So if we look wonky, look tired, or say start to talk crazy, you exactly know why. But nonetheless, we're here. Let's do it. Do as we do. Get together on fumes and create this show called Athletics LLC. Clyde, how are you this evening?
After a long and trying day of surviving and advancing, which we were mostly successful, I'm good.
Good. Governor, how about yourself?
Mixed day, but happy day. We're making progress and looking forward to the next couple of days. Should be really fun.
Love it. Not contesting this championship, contesting a different type of competition. Greetings from Austria. Do you want to grow on that for those who don't know what's happening as well?
Sure. I am blessed to be in Gutsis, Austria, where we will be competing in the world's most prominent decathlon and heptathlon. Yes. So I'm on Thursday.
So he likes to let us remember that he's a little time zones ahead of us. So as you can tell, we are missing one tile, but for the lonesome, Sir Lucius is on the East Coast or Eastern time zone. And so therefore, by the time the West was finished, it's way too late for Sir Lucius. So we're going to go ahead and proceed. We're going to give him the pass because we know Sir Lucius, he's been working. So he needs that rest. So, but if you've looked at the result, there's a reason why he needs some rest because they've been working out there. Oh my gosh. But anyhow, going into our topics, what are the top storylines that are going into this championship, this first round of championships?
I mean, the easy and obvious storyline is always how the preliminary rounds ultimately are going to affect the team races. Mm-hmm. You know, if you've looked at the results from today, live post before LLC, you know that the team races have gotten a lot more interesting. There's been some misses, but you know, I think that's always the biggest storyline for me and for a lot of people I know that follow the sport is how will the projections of the team championships ultimately change when all is said and done after this round of competition. And then me personally, I think I've been very intrigued by some of the choices by programs, some of the choices by individual athletes. For example, the Aiden Owens is not contesting the multis choice to ultimately have himself available to score more individual points to you know contribute to that race. So there's a lot of intrigue in that, but you know, I think the team titles are always a big headline coming in and out of this thing.
I'll jump in there. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, it's a top story. I don't know if it's the top storyline, but we're seeing a lot more sprinkles of smaller schools. So, I mean, we've seen that in the past, right? But there are a lot more, and I don't mean this as a diss to anybody, more random logos that I'm like, wait, what is that? You know, and you have to look it up, and they're not insignificant times either. They're like, oh, okay, or marks at that.
I think that's a direct result of the portal and grad transfers.
Yeah.
I think for me, maybe not to everybody, but for me, one of the more interesting storylines going into this is how the Bowerman dais, which we will get to later, I'm sure, but how they are faring in a lot of ways against their own hype, right? Because there becomes a point as you go through the Bowerman that building of momentum of your resume is also important, not just your resume. And you find yourself jumping and running and throwing against yourself in some regard, and I find that very interesting. We had a pretty interesting Bowerman conversation here in Austria last night that kind of funneled around that thought process, and so I definitely wanted to say it on the show today, that it is very interesting to because I don't want to pick on anybody in particular one way or the other, but it's very interesting to see how some of the Bowerman candidates, so to speak, are competing against themselves, even like from indoor, and what they're doing and how it's being perceived based on the expectations that were set, either from indoor or going into outdoor because they didn't really compete indoor, that kind of thing.
So I big league kind of took what I was going to say, but
Sorry.
no. I love it. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's noticing. And I will add to that a lot of these schools that I've never seen or never really, like Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm getting these random stares, and one coach just came up to me and goes, "I never miss a show. Never miss a show."
I
And
love
I'm
it.
like, I'm like, what?
We
So
really
What coach
do have
was
a
that?
cult.
What school was it?
We have
it
a
was-
cult following, and I love it.
I want to say it was Milwaukee. Like he was wearing a yellow hat. He's wearing yellow and yellow.
Does he have facial hair?
Trying to remember. I
I think he was wearing a yellow hat today. Yeah, Horizon League. Woo woo. But yeah, no, he is a fan of the show. He told me when I used to be in that league conference.
Okay. So
Oh, that's awesome.
but yeah, I mean this year is definitely the year of parity. And for all intents and purposes, like and we know what this meet is. This meet is a mixed bag. This meet is it's a meet of averages. It's a meet of just standing pat. Whatever you did to get here, just stay within that range and
Yeah.
you will be fine.
Yeah.
And this, I think the storylines of obviously, the big schools, the big programs, the teams that are trying to get the most points to Austin, they're all, you can tell they are like really nervous and really just tense, because they've already basically said it's going to be in these areas.
Yeah.
It's going to be these events that we need to score these points, right? And if we're going to have a chance. And if you looked around the stadium today, I mean, you could tell there were those pockets where they're just sitting there just like tense as all get out.
Mm-hmm.
Because and so that's to me the strategizing with big numbers of top athletes, and then you sprinkle in these kids that are just like, this is my first time here, I'm just having fun. I'm just gonna let it loose. And we're seeing these results that are popping out like, wait a minute, where did this come from? You know, and I feel like we're gonna see more of that throughout the week. And I think ultimately that's what this meet was designed to be. And you know, I've already had that conversation today about, well, Governor, what do you think of this meet? Do you think this meet needs? And I'm going, are we really doing this right here? Are we really? You know, like you're already there. We're in day one of this meet, and you're already questioning the validity of having to come here and compete. You know, and
that
yes,
I guess I'm not. I can't say I'm shocked because this has
you
gone
can't
on.
be shocked.
This has gone on every year.
Yes,
At every
year.
stage of development of this meet. I guess I'm offended by the audacity of it because we're long past proof of concept.
Exactly.
Like it's been long established that not only is this meet awesome, but it's totally necessary if you want to have a legitimate national championship.
Mm-hmm.
If we're still in the place where we are irritated or intolerant of the notion that you actually have to line up and beat people to make it to the show, well, you know, the first world issues, I'm not concerned. Like the thing that makes this whole thing awesome is the original premise is, hey, school X, Y, and Z may not have the money to handpick their competitions, perfect conditions on the perfect weekends. We just want an opportunity to line up and race you people. Yep. And that's what this is. And you know, the true purebreds, like the you know, the true unicorns, the best of the best people, they don't struggle to get through these rounds of competition. But that's the top 2%. Everybody else is in a dogfight.
Yep.
And you got to show that you're, you know, worthy of the fight to get through. And that's
so to your point, do you realize how many non-power fives made it in the long jump?
Yes. Oh, the exact number, no, but I'm in the moment I was very aware of it.
6 out of 12.
That's crazy.
Qualifiers are non-power fives. Okay.
And there it is.
That is awesome.
And I'm going to name them because folks need to know. So we're talking about Southern Utah. Okay. San Jose State. Congratulations.
Freshman.
New Mexico. Texas State. Another New Mexico and Wyoming.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, the Mountain West. That's out here getting it done.
You know what dawned on me, I think yesterday, and I was actually excited because I thought this was like something cool to be able to say. Like, we're the only sport that you have to be like an MMA fighter and you have to have multiple styles, because you have to be elite and top 16 on a list to make the national meet indoors, right? And outdoors, you have to be built for the long haul.
Yep.
Right. Yep. So you literally have to be able to win a fight both ways. Right. Because indoors, you have the daunting task of being the best. Top 16 in a gigantic pool of talent. Outdoors, you have to be a combination of the best and the most resilient. Right. You have to, especially in an event like the long jump, you have to be able to produce marks without adrenaline.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that's the difference.
There's no cheering section. There's hardly anyone there. There's no energy. You have 3 attempts. You have to.
And there's no winner, right? Exactly. Right. That's the point. Is that you just have to be able to produce marks without adrenaline. Yeah. And we're the only sport, you know, in the NCAA that has multiple championships that are contested differently. Like tennis has an indoor championship and an outdoor, but it's the same, right? It's the process is the same. We're the only one where we have 2 different championships and they're not contested the same.
It's true.
They're very different. And I
Hey,
think
man.
that's very interesting.
The Mountain West took 33% of the field today. I'm here.
Oh,
Six,
that's awesome.
6 out of 12 non-power fives made it in the JAV as well. 6 out of 12. Like, it's, you know, now where that didn't happen was a men's shot.
No.
There were no, it was all power five. So,
And sometimes you're gonna get that.
exactly.
But you know what? You had a shot.
You did.
Well, and I think so. What I guess because we're field event people, or at least have the savvy of knowing of field events at this point, how many people don't realize that this is a true prelim for the field events?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it's 3 and done.
Yeah.
No,
And
and
then
and,
you
let,
reset.
and let me say, because you know we've been watching this for years. The field events in general have the most brutal process here, but
Yeah.
I want to be very
Facts.
specific. The horizontal jumps
Facts.
are the most difficult thing, period. Because you know there's just too many variables.
Yes.
It's wild out there, and so
Mhm.
To
man.
your point, we do remember that until they came out with this genius double runway
Oh yeah.
at the same time,
It used to be
Used
3
to
flights
be-
of 16. It used to be 3, and let me tell you something.
No, sir.
Unless you've been in an Olympics or World Championships, you've never been in a competition like that.
oh my gosh,
When there's 16 people, you basically jump once every 20 minutes.
you will
Yeah.
go through every single emotion in
Mhm.
between events, right? And you are just like,
Mhm.
okay, what is about to happen? You have no idea. I could go on for days, but I was gonna say when you do that, or when it used to do that, and we used to be in Oregon, and the first flight comes out and it's 75 degrees and it's sunny. The big timers come out, it's dropped to 55 degrees, it's raining sideways.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but that's still the case. We're still dealing 2 flights of 12, but the big timers still come after that. So it still leaves some stuff up in the air. Like, you don't know what's going to happen.
No, it's very dramatic, and I mean, listen, the way we're doing it right now is about the best way you could possibly do it. I mean, I can't imagine a more efficient way to do it than the 2 simultaneous flights together. But it's just, it's brutal. I mean, you only get 3 shots. You got to navigate the runway, and I mean, yeah, in the throws, you got to navigate whatever it is you navigate, but it's not as precise of a thing, right? Like you're off by this much. It's not like you can save the jump. Like you scratched or you didn't, and it's crazy out there.
Depending on where you compete in this country, depending on what league you compete in, there are people that showed up today that had never been on Mondo. You
Yeah.
cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that wasn't the case. Okay, so they had to figure it out today,
Mhm.
or in the days leading up. They had a crash course on what Mondo is. So
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I'll say this much as to what the topic was typed out to be. I don't know that there's huge storylines that weren't already kind of, what's the word? Painted out before this round.
Yeah, the storylines maybe is a bad choice of words, because it's just about the intrigue going in, right? The storylines ultimately emerge come Saturday night, Sunday morning, when you're looking at the rest, like, oh, wait a minute, such and such ain't in, and such and such ain't in, and this person is in, and you start trying to run the math. They're like, hold on, a lot has changed in a week. So the true
Yep.
storylines will emerge next
And we
week.
still have conference fresh in our minds. So
Yeah,
Right.
you're hoping and praying that that magic still continues, but that's never normally the case.
well, so one that we'll look forward to, quote unquote, look forward to tomorrow in the women's round, first round, is to toot our own horn. The women's 100 race is another Big 12 matchup.
Yes. Let's go.
So it's gonna be interesting, right? Because just like everyone says, that's how you end up potentially knocking out all these people,
Yep.
the same people. So that will serve some interest.
So perhaps I missed this, but has Sacramento State always only had 8 lanes going all the way around?
So it's very
Yes.
not, well, they don't have only 8 lanes going all the way around right now. It will all the way around, yes. So on the normal 200 start
Yes.
line, there are 9 lanes.
Okay, yes, I
The
saw that.
backstretch only has 8 lanes.
Okay,
So if you look at the original seeds, they were going to run 2 through 9, but we had to run it with the wind.
right.
So that all got shifted to 1
Got
through
it, got
8
it.
because on the
makes
backstretch there's only 1 through 8.
Right.
You know, ultimately, and I don't mean this in any kind of derogatory way. It's just the truth of what this meet is. This meet, unlike any other meet that we have, exposes the pretenders.
Mm-hmm.
It separates, you know, the real from the fakes,
Yes.
and that's awesome to see. I love that our sport gives us that opportunity on a stage like this.
Mhm.
Because let's be real, 48 humans per field is a big pack of
Big
people.
span, yeah.
And every year, everybody in that 48 ain't exactly real. And when you have to line up in advance by beating people,
Yes.
oh, some of the meltdowns are epic.
Yep.
And you get to see it. And that's why ultimately I love and respect this process, because you literally earn everything that you get. There's no one racing 2 days from now that didn't earn their way into this meet and didn't earn their way out of today.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on. Because this is taking form very quickly. Oh, maybe not very quickly, I should say that better. Taking shape as we are speaking and competing. As Greetings from Austria likes to say, the Bowerman dais. Is it changing for you? Is it shifting? What is it?
Bless you.
Thank you.
I mean, I will gladly jump in first and get crucified by my peers here. I'm here for it. I feel like I said this the first time when we did this after indoor. Unless I am truly missing something, and it's possible because I've been busy. I don't really see how my Bowerman dais should have changed yet. It is still Jasmine Moore. Oh, you know what? It has changed. It is Jasmine Moore. It is still Miss Tui. And at this point, gotta say it, it's Britton Wilson. It's Britton Wilson. Now, a little of that is projection for me, because I believe that Britton Wilson can and will pull off this 400, 400 hurdle double. And if she does, I will consider that much more impressive, given the marks that she's been running, than whatever Miss Alfred does in the 1 and the 2 when she doubles. So I had Alfred after indoor over Wilson. And right now, I think I would have to put Wilson up there over Alfred, but I'm still campaigning for the 4 chairs. It's 4 chairs, people.
I mean, look, we get. It's obvious it should be 4 chairs from last year and this year's women's race. It is also obvious that the NCAA Bowerman folk are never going to listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
Touche.
I'll jump in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the internet is going to flame you for taking Julian Alfred off of your dais.
Okay.
But I at least, I said the internet. I didn't say me. I at least I can appreciate a sprint guy, you know, campaigning for the distance runner. Like and respecting the hustle. I will just say this. Last year, there was no question that there should be 4 chairs. As wild as it is to say, I think this year is even more so, because just on the women's side, right, all 4 of those women have broken multiple collegiate records.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there is no way that you should be the very best that college track has ever had to offer in multiple events and not even get a chair and a video package at the Bowerman. Like, that just shouldn't happen. There should be a contingency plan for that. And at the end of the day, I know they're not going to listen, but I still have to beat the drum and say it, because regardless of what they do going forward, and I don't think any, you know, knock on wood, I don't think there's any carnage that's going to happen for any of them prior to the NCAA final site. But you're already telling me that somebody's not going to get a chair that has multiple collegiate records this year, and that's wild.
That's wild.
I was what I was mentioning earlier is never more prevalent than now. Jasmine Moore is being judged against 7 meters and 15 meters indoors.
Yep.
I had someone say to me yesterday with a straight face, she's only jumped 1467 this year outdoors. Right? That's mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
But it proves my point. She is being judged against the ridiculous standard she has already set. I need folks to understand. Jasmine Moore hasn't been beaten by a collegian in a meet of any note in like 3 years.
I mean, ever?
Yeah, no. Charisma Taylor, she got 3rd
Yes.
at the meet this year at Baton Rouge
LLC.
in her opener. She lost to a pro. And,
No. I mean, SEC indoor nationals, outdoor nationals.
Nope.
Yeah, no,
Nope.
it hasn't happened. And the streak that she has going together is insane. And anybody who doesn't get that winning matters is just ridiculous. Like, I'll say this: the one chair that better have her butt in, like the better have Jasmine Moore's butt in it, is at the Bowerman, because her not having a seat last year was insane. If she doesn't have it, like, she has a seat.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, right? Now, I feel terrible for the one that doesn't get a seat between Julian Alfred, who may break the collegiate record in the 100 and the 200 on her home track at the national championship, or Britton Wilson, who may do a double that I'm not sure that anybody has ever truly tried to contest, at definitely not at this level, when she's trying to break the American record in the 400 and the collegiate record in the 400 hurdles, right? And then there's Caitlin Toohey, who's just doing all things distance, right? Like, she's doing as much as humanly possible given the, you know, the constraints of this nanosphere we live in and the time schedule. So one of them isn't going to get a chair, but I promise you, if Jasmine Moore doesn't have a chair, I'm done talking about the Bowerman forever.
We all know, unfortunately, that she's the most likely to get played here.
Yeah.
But here's the wild part, right? Let's go on the men's side. If I'm honest,
wait, we got.
Oh, we're just doing women. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with everything that was just said, because, I mean, I look at it from the standpoint of, if Julian does what she does and wins both, and they win the 4x1 and the 4x4,
right,
that it's a done
right.
deal.
Yeah.
It's a done deal. On her home track,
the table is set. Don't get it twisted.
100% being set. Again, who's going to beat Jasmine Moore at nationals? I say nobody. Okay. And then you add on Britton Wilson, who, I mean, just for attempting to do this double with this schedule, come on now. It's crazy. It's crazy, but who's going to beat her? No one's
Oh,
going to.
no one's gonna beat
You know,
her. No one's gonna beat
and then Tui. Tui is, I mean, she's already a pro as far as I'm concerned in terms of what she's been able to do, what she's been able to accomplish. And the fact, I think Adidas already figured that part out.
her. Yeah.
So,
Oh no, she definitely is already a pro.
yes. So, you know, you take those four and you subtract one, that's
And
I want
let
to
me-
stick one
let me-
other thing really quick in there about those four, right? This is a piece that those four have to navigate and their coaches have to navigate that nobody else really has to navigate on the college setting. All four of them should be going to world championships,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So they have to manage a schedule for this year all the way out into the end of August,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's a whole different deal than the rest of the college landscape is doing, and they're competing against each other for one single award. Like it's a weird piece.
Now, let me just say, I'm a sprint and hurdle guy
Mm-hmm.
who dabbles in jumps. I don't like or really care about cross country, but you can't ignore the fact that Kayla Toomey did what she did in cross country. Like if that
Yes, you
part
can.
wasn't a part of it, then leave her out.
You're just
I'm
being
not
petty.
saying-
You're just being
No,
petty.
But you can't.
I'm not saying
ignore
yes
that
you
part.
can. You can only because again, the track and field and cross country are two completely different sports.
Not according to the Bowerman.
Not according to the
Okay. Okay, but here's what I'm trying to say. Look, if you're a two-sport athlete, right? So say you play football and run track, right? If your football team wins the national championship and you're also up for the Bowerman, like nobody cares.
I mean,
Right?
I understand what you're saying.
So like I'm not dissing Caitlin too. Listen, she's amazing, but I don't want to hear anything mentioned about the fact that she won a cross-country national championship. It's just not relevant in this particular argument. It just
But
isn't.
but it's literally a part of the consideration for the
Yes,
award.
it is.
But it shouldn't be, and that's
Oh,
like
that's
one of those
different issue.
things. Just like there should be four chairs, right? I mean,
Absolutely. Now,
So what are the four men? Let's hear what we
well,
have
no,
to say.
okay.
Let's
so
talk about the men.
he's gonna love my four men because I'm not even giving.
but you
four.
only get three.
Yeah, I'm not giving four. I don't actually believe it's a four. I think my three are pretty solid, and he's gonna love it because it's all field events.
Thank you.
I mean, it's Kyle Garland.
Yes.
Okay, done. For me, I don't care what y'all say. It's Jaden Hibbert. If Jaden Hibbert ain't on the dais, he better triple jump his way to the dais like the drunk people do in the hallway during the convention, because he belongs on the dais. Okay, and then my third, honestly, is the Princeton kid in the pole vault. Like, sorry, okay,
That's
that's
insanity.
where I'm at.
You picked field eventers. You didn't even pick the right three. But I love it.
I hear you. I mean, we could talk about.
I
Oh no,
love
I'm sorry.
it.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
Clyde,
sorry.
you
My bad,
obviously,
my bad.
you
No,
obviously
you
skipped
don't get to
over
reel
one.
it back now.
It's
You
Electra.
don't get to reel it back now.
Electra.
Nope.
You
my
skipped
bad.
over one.
Absolutely Electra. Absolutely Electra. My bad.
I was like, you've lost your mind.
No, because I was looking at my phone for notes, and indoor there is no discus, so that wasn't in my notes yet. Yes, it's Electra.
Oh
Almost
God.
out of there. Electra,
No.
Hibbert, and Garland. That's the three.
The one thing that it has been proven is that Mo Satara, he chooses violence with his outdoor only athletes.
Hey,
Oh man.
All right, so I'll jump in there because I know the governor's answer is going to be wonderful. So I'll I'm gonna be controversial, and I don't care because I've ridden this horse before for a different school. My three are wild in that Garland, Hibbert, and Alekna only get 2 chairs.
Okay.
Okay.
Because Florida's 257 running undefeated
Oh, here
4x4.
Oh,
Here we go.
Listen, I gotta ride
Oh,
that. I
God.
gotta ride that same group, because if I'm gonna ride, if 3 years ago I'm gonna ride the train for the A&T 4x4, I gotta
You mean
give the same
train
energy.
the train that never arrived to the station.
Listen, you know what? We'll call it what it is. Look, if ever there should be 4 chairs, I mean, this nonsense that's going on right now. I mean, look, the same can be said for Texas's women's 4x1. What?
Yes.
Right. So look, I know we only get 3 chairs, and obviously, if somebody in my group is going to be out, it's going to be Florida's men's 4x4. But let's be clear, that group deserves a chair. But you can't ignore the 3 field eventers have been historically outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be clear, probably the most surprising and maybe best guy on the track is a field eventer.
Yeah.
What Aiden Owens is doing in the 400 hurdles is also ridiculous.
Yep.
But yeah, Garland, Hibbert, and that monstrosity that is Alekna, that's probably my 3 legitimate chairs.
Ditto. That's all I gotta say. Those 3, in my opinion, have been the most impressive. I mean, and I can easily see a situation where Hibbert wins it. I'm not gonna go out on a limb, but the man is, yeah. That was just absolutely sickening what he did.
Well, see, Alekna makes Hibbert's difficult, right?
Yes.
But for the same reason that I argued for Cam Rogers last year, Jaden Hibbert is so much better than everybody else ever.
Yes.
Like, yes, just give it to him.
Yeah.
But again, that's statistically not true. And the reason I say that is, okay, just wash this over your brain for a second. Kyle Garland came within 1 second of breaking the world record indoors.
Sure. No, I understand.
Okay. All right. So he's substantially better than every collegian that's ever done the multi. And then outdoors, again, in the competing against yourself, he puts up an 85-89 score that destroys the rest of the competition. It's the second best mark in the history of college track, behind his own 87-20 from the year before.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And we all expect you to ride for the decathlete. But I am sorry. Listen, and maybe it's an attention deficit issue. I am not at all impugning the awesomeness of Kyle Garland, because he is otherworldly. But I have to watch 10 events and then sit back and be like, oh my God, it's amazing. Nah, just give me one jump, and I'm like, that's the guy. That's more exciting. I give it to Hibbert. And by saying Alekna's doing the same thing in the disc, right?
Yeah, like, for sure. But he had no indoor. Unfortunately, he's gonna fall short because he didn't have, because his sport doesn't happen indoors.
Yes.
Exactly. So I'm all in on the baby jumper from a half approach.
I was gonna say that right there is, I think, the reason that we all are on the Hibbert train is because we watched him win indoors from a half approach.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Garland gonna take half an approach in the jab run up and chuck it? No.
Listen, let's just call it what it is. Like, Kyle Garland is struggling with being bored, because he is legitimately out there, and I mean no disrespect to my guy Leo, who has the world championship standard, by the way. Mm-hmm. But Kyle has to compete against himself, because Aiden chose not to do the combined events outdoors. Like, You know, it's Muhammad Ali without Frazier, right?
So not one of you mentioned Udodi.
Yeah, I love it.
You're right. You're
No.
right. This
No.
is a terrible year to be really, really good,
Yes, it is.
right? Because I mean, on the women's side, you have 4 otherworldly people, and on the men's side, you have 3 otherworldly people and another couple that are special.
Yeah.
So this is
Here's-
not the year to be really good.
Here's correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it's late. Doty did not win the indoor 200, right?
Correct.
So
That's
if he had won it, and then you sit here now and think he has a legitimate shot, which he absolutely does, to win the outdoor 200, then he has a case. But he didn't win the indoor 200, and bowling ain't winning the outdoor 200. So no, that whole event's off the table.
That's the same issue with Ryan Willie. Like,
Yeah.
Ryan Willie didn't win indoors. And so when he runs 43 and wins outdoors, it's going to be awesome that he did that.
Yeah.
But nowhere near Bowerman chair worthy because the
Absolutely.
nonsense that's happening at the very, 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 very top.
Lucius just rolled over in his sleep.
I know.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey. I mean, like, here's what I want to say. We have been taught to believe like the Bowerman is the Heisman of track and field. Let's be clear. The Bowerman is way better than the Heisman.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the best in college history in football to win the Heisman. You don't even necessarily have to be the best in that year. Like, you have to have the best campaigning being done. Right now in college track, to have a chance at the Bowerman, you have to be a collegiate record holder.
Yep.
Male or female, indoors and out.
Tough job. But that's why they're Bowerman people.
Yeah. That group is special.
All right, moving on. So World Athletics did a thing and they created the short track. That wasn't intended at all. So if you haven't read the articles, and there's a couple out there now, effective August, it is anticipated that World Athletics is going to rebrand indoor track and field to be labeled as short track. If you read at least one of the articles, if not the few that are out there, the part of the premise behind it is to allow for different arenas, the outdoor the malls, give more, more cities or more venues opportunities to host some events. With going to the name of short track, it's allowing for outdoor forums with a 200-meter. And I don't want to say oval. My default is say oval, but I don't think it refers to an oval.
Right.
And so, there are a lot of things to be spoken to and whatnot. So let's see what you all have to say.
Can I just throw this out there to my 2 elder statesmen? Can somebody explain to me why I should care about this issue?
Well, I'll jump in and answer that.
Yes.
First off,
go ahead.
First off, Big League also forgot to mention the other nonsense that World Athletics did in the last 24 hours, which is changing the advancement procedure at this year's World Championships in the 800, 1500 steeplechase and 5K.
Yep.
Right. So what is
that
always
one
my
I understand. That one
what
I
is
know
always
why
my
I'm upset.
complaint about World Athletics? You don't change the rules in the middle of the season. Right. So why should you care about the short bus denotation, the short track denotation? Is because it is, again, the most European centered nonsense that World Athletics can possibly do. Here's why. Do you know what venues this completely now discredits and what they hate? All the 300-meter tracks we have in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first question was, are they gonna give the grace and the leeways to the 260s, to the 302, to the 306?
No, they hate those because none of those exist in Europe, and you can't break a world record in an oval race on them.
Got it.
Right? Like if you run, 43 seconds indoors on the 300 track, it's great. It'll be listed somewhere in the archive as a world best, but to break a world record, see, now that's the weird part. To break a world record in an oval race, the rule has been that you had to do it on a 200-meter track or smaller. Yeah. So you
The
can do
only
it like
smaller track that I know that is the old Fresno State track.
right. Well, see, that's what a great deal of the tracks used to be globally. It was a 10 lap or 11 lap to the mile tracks. They used to be a bunch of 160s. So since most of those have gone by way of the dodo, that's not so much an issue, but it's the ones that we have in this country that are bigger that now are going to be very interesting as to how those are contested. But, listen, I sort of understand what they're trying to do, but man, if you break a world record in a mall, or you break a world record at the town hall center, like, I got some issues with it. Not a lot. Because mainly the reason I say this is mainly it's going to benefit field event stuff. Because but now you in a park on a 60-meter created 8 feet off the air, elevated track and field, which is just weird to me.
So, I've read the press release, and I've come to a number of different conclusions, like why this is such a big deal for them, right? World Athletics President Seb Coe said the change will open a world of opportunities for meet organizers. It will provide a more affordable option to cities, especially where space is in short supply, while stimulating the growth of the sport through investment in new infrastructure.
That's all Europe.
Yes, major indoor championships will endure, but in areas with zero or limited indoor facilities, short track meets could be held outdoors with results counting as qualifiers for those indoor championships.
Right. So now you're going to be able to qualify for indoor world championships in a 60 meters that was held outside, in a pole vault competition that was held outside with wind. Like, this is why I'm saying, like, all of this is ridiculous. But the only place that really has spatial concerns, right, is Europe.
I mean, I figured that this was some kind of odd Eurocentric thing. I'm sorry, guys, I just don't care. I guess I'm gonna have to wait for the moment where, a 60-meter person qualifies with a 2.0 wind outdoors or something. I just don't care. It doesn't seem like a big enough deal for me to get emotional about. And
to your point, right? It's indoors. Like, at the end of the day, like, nobody really cares anyway.
Yeah.
We care about indoors during indoor season.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about like putting an indoor track outside in Australia in between November and January, when it's summertime, right? Like those,
cool.
Like that's normally the main season is for them is during that time. So they've usually had to get on a plane and fly to Europe to run 60s or whatever. You telling me they can just put a track up and get it done there in Australia, and then okay.
The person I think that this
at the end of the day, still got to come to Indoor Worlds and race people, right?
Yes.
Right. The person I feel like this could most positively affect is Mondo. because now he can break the indoor world record, which he's already broken 647 times, but now he can break the indoor world record outdoors.
Hell, he could break the indoor world record from his backyard.
Right. He could do it. He can do a street vault anywhere. Right. And the reason I have some issue with some of this, right, is like, is anybody going to be regulating the gradients? Like, are we sure that 60 meters is not going to be downhill? Are we sure that runways aren't going to be downhill?
Yeah. Or, downhill, low sandboxes, whatever it takes, right?
Once again, never missing the opportunity to take a petty shot. But I think the bad part about this is it's like, it further convolutes a sport that is already too convoluted to the general public.
Yes.
Now the general public, they already don't know what a world-class track and field athlete is. Now they're going to be confused as to what an indoor meet is.
Well, not even an indoor meet. They're going to get confused when they see it on the ticker or not the ticker. And it says short track, and we're giving things that they didn't understand when we were indoor track and field. Like, so here's what my initial response was. I wonder if it's going to the effect of like speed skating, because they have long track and short track.
Yep.
And so I said that out loud, and I'm like, oh, that actually kind of sounds smart. And then I was like, no, I can't do it. When my athletic trainer, not mine, our athletic trainer, as well as our sports information person asks what we think about it, I was like, oh man. Because I'll say this, she said to me, she said, I feel very weird that I'm going to type short track for indoor track and field.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, to her, that didn't even make sense. And she's not a track and field person. I mean, she is, but she isn't obviously. So.
And to be petty, not petty. So does that make 300 meter tracks medium tracks now?
Oh my Gina. Oh my
A
Gina.
fair question.
It's a real question. Like,
Fair question.
Oh,
if
God.
200 meters or less are short tracks and 400 meters are tracks, what else would you call a 300 meter track? Medium track and field.
Invalid.
Medium.
Oh.
Medium.
Wait, you know what though? So I guess the answer is what I'm going to say it is, but then it makes them obsolete. However far this goes, obviously it's a World Athletics thing right now, but then if it trickles down, so then you said it makes the oversized tracks obsolete. So then what happens?
Oh, no, like that nothing has changed in regards to that. World Athletics has literally never ratified any oval marks that have happened on 300 meter tracks.
But what I'm saying though is, so if that's the case, then quote unquote meet directors are going to find that their attendance declines in theory, right? Then what?
Yeah.
Then how are
I
we
don't
growing
know.
the sport? Because now we're going to have these empty ballparks that are going to grow weeds and be uncared for. Not really, but do you get what I'm saying, where I'm trying to go with that?
Yeah, and I think what's going to happen is what's always happened. I think we are going to continue to operate in our bubble in the United States, especially with the collegiate system, and we won't, like, nobody will care that you can't break the world record at the Spire in the 400. But again, because I am who I am, I laugh about that. You can break the world record in the 60 at a 300 meter venue.
Yes.
Right? Which is obviously way different because you have a much longer runoff. You don't have the uphill at the end. Like, it's different. But whatever. I just will continue to go back to this. It's indoor track, and we only care about indoor track during indoor season. Like, literally nobody cares.
That makes my head hurt.
I mean, look at all the people who have got indoor hardware, like indoor medals, who don't have contracts because the shoe companies literally don't care what you do indoors.
Yep. Man,
Harsh
oh,
fact.
man. Do you want to expand more on the second round of FRE, that World Athletics? Because I'll be honest with you, like, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about though. I do, but I
Okay,
don't.
so to simplify this, and I hope that all the distance people who watch our show already understand this and know this, but simply put, they eliminated two things. They eliminated the little Q, and they eliminated the advantage, the inherent advantage that would happen with you being in the third semi, because you already knew exactly what you had to run to qualify and what a time qualifier would look like, right? So there was legitimately an advantage to being in the last semi. What they also have done, and I don't think they really realize this, they've also gotten rid of, in those events, the thing that I hate the most, which is the 3 semi format, because you cannot get to 8 finalists from 3 semis
Right.
with just big Qs. So now they're going to have to go to either 2 and go 4 and 4, which is what was the old way, or 4, which will be even worse, because then you got to be top 2 and that's it. So I'm going to guess that they're going to end up with 2 semis and go top 4. But there is no more time qualifiers. Well, that's how it used to be, and I loved it.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying, if you're changing it back for the distance crew, damn it, I want it changed back for everybody.
I mean, right. Like to me, it makes perfect sense that if you're going to change, we got no more little Qs in the 8, 15, steeple, and 5. Like, why do you have little Qs in the 1, 2, and 4?
Don't say that. Stop that right now.
Why?
Stop that right
That's how
now.
it used to be.
Yes, that's how it
But
used
what
to
I'm
be.
saying
You used to make the finalists be top 4 in your semi.
don't give it life. Shh. Shh.
No, I want to give it life because it's better. Little Q qualifying, let me tell you something. You ask anybody, when the World Championships and Olympics took away a round, you went from 4 rounds to 3, which then forced the 3 heat semi.
Yes.
Nothing got harder than the semis.
Yep.
I guess
So
I'm not old enough to appreciate
We have yet to see a final that can match the semi in terms of intensity, times, overall times, because we're still dealing with a 90-minute reprieve.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
And the semi is a hot race.
yes, it is. Because you cannot slack off whatsoever. And so literally you're literally sitting at a dam with 5 holes and you're trying to plug up 3.
Yeah.
And there are 2 that are still sprouting out, and you can't have one without the other. You cannot, like, that's what was so beautiful, in my opinion, about the 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Because it was a true test of skill. You had to endure. You made a mistake, you're fixing a mistake. You are literally moving along in 2 days, 4 races, and you get to that semi, there are 2 semis, still have to run your butt off to make it. But
you could manage it.
But you could manage it, absolutely.
If you were a medal contender, a legitimate medal contender, then you manage the semi.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, you have to basically perform 2 medal-worthy performances.
Absolutely.
Because you have to race the semi like you're trying to win the gold medal.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yep.
Because 3rd place isn't good enough.
Nope.
Yeah.
You should get 3rd in your semi and not make the final.
Yeah. Because
and that's just not okay.
Of the flagrant big Q. Okay. I get it now. Okay.
That's
we can
why.
talk about it. You can talk about it. I get it now.
3 heat semis are terrible. Three heat semis are just they're an aberration. Top two next to is terrible.
By definition, you cannot, semi is two. It's not
Yeah.
three by
That
definition.
part.
Tremine.
That part. Right. They should call them the tremis.
I'll take the credit on that one.
I like it.
All right. Well, I mean, we must have a little bit of deliria in us because we actually been kind of funny. It's like the whole show, not just parts of it. So we'll stay on the roll and we'll lead our way into Would You Rather. And Mr. Austria here.
Oh, geez. Of course it
Arnold,
is.
you are in the ring, sir.
Oh,
And I'll
sweet.
be
7
completely
o'clock
honest
in
with
the
you.
morning.
Well, yeah. And I am not prepared, so you're just gonna get this off the cuff.
Oh boy.
Ooh, I like it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, this California pollen is making things a little foggy, so,
Oh, please, please.
right?
Yowzers.
I'll say this randomly before, I don't remember the pollen being that bad here. Because like
It hasn't rained like it has in a long, long time.
yeah, that's very true.
Like
Texas has made y'all soft.
Oh, okay. Right. My
I mean,
my head
I don't
coach
know if soft is the right word, but I will say this. I don't remember anybody ever having any pollen issues in Sacramento.
Yeah. I've just
I don't ever remember all of you allergy-ridden folks ever complaining about the national championships when they were in Sacramento like every year.
had I had issues, I would have been more prepared.
Exactly.
I got bum rush as soon as I got out of the car to go warm up. I'm like, why am I yeah. But
Global warming.
In that same note, like a couple of our kids, our head coach took a group of kids down to Yosemite. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
It's like parts of the park that were completely dormant. It is like a
Flourishing.
raging, like crazy powerful water now.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it is true what has happened in the state. And the trees, the foliage that we're seeing out right now, I mean, it's wreaking havoc on all of us.
It is.
A few.
All right.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, some of us are impervious to pollen and the like.
Listen, some of us are just built different.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. Anyhow.
I'm only allergic to bitch assness. I've said this.
I was waiting. I can hear it in my head. I was waiting for one of the two of you to say it.
There we go.
I literally was waiting. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, Mr. Austria, would you rather drive a stick for the rest of your life or drive an electric car for the rest of your life?
That is awesome because here, just
They
the
are electric
awesomeness.
cars.
No, the awesomeness of this meet, right, is they give each like training group or whatever a car to drive. And I am driving an electric Audi SUV. And so Clyde will laugh at this. Yesterday, without instruction from anybody, I had to plug the car in, right? So this was an adventure because I had to figure out where the cables were. FYI, they're in the hood where the engine is. And then I had to figure out how they get plugged in. The funniest part was for all of us trying to figure out how to unplug because you can't unplug at all until you pay. It's weird. Like your car is
They're
stuck.
holding you hostage.
But so like what I'm saying is like you had to put the card on like to initiate the process, right? But you got to put the card on again for the process to end. So it was interesting. I guess I would say I'd rather drive an electric car forever. I love my stick, but I think the electric car thing is kind of cool.
would you rather I don't get that one, never mind, I lied. It's gonna be, what wanted to come out of my mouth was, would you rather only compete decathlons for the rest of your athletic career, so put yourself back in your career, or only compete rounds of the single events? I guess that does make sense at this point.
You know, there's I've got some ego, so I think really like the idea of competing for the title of world's greatest athlete is still just too enticing. I think I would rather only compete decathlons.
Okay. Would you rather oh, I don't have it. I lost it. Colin took it from me. It literally started and then it stopped. Would you rather, got one, have pineapple Dole Whip or what's your pralines pecan, pralines and cream? What's your favorite ice cream?
Pralines and pecans and cream, I think is what you're trying to say.
Whatever that ice cream is.
That one.
Not a pineapple Dole Whip?
No, pineapple Dole Whip is really good, but they serve butter pecans and pralines. They serve all those things in heaven, and I will eat it many times.
What a crock. What a crock. Last one. Would you rather drive an SUV or a sedan for the rest of your driving career?
SUV.
Electric.
Sure, whatever. That's what I'm driving right now. Like if I could have the car that they've assigned me this week for the rest of my life, I would be more than fine with it. I'll take a picture of it later and send it to you guys. It's dope. It's a electric Audi SUV that has all of the decathlon events like depicted all over it. It's fire and it's fast. Is your Tesla like that, Clyde? Like when you step on the gas, you know what it's like? It's like I guess it's not gas, it's electricity, but it's like bullet trains. It feels like when you go, there's no jerk at all. It just
Yes.
like it's wild. You step on that thing and it's like, oh, we're going.
That's right.
Funny. All right, that's enough of my heartbeat. I mean, would you rather, gentlemen?
The pollen has pollinized her.
It has.
I just hope that the internet, I hope y'all come for Clyde for him eating wings on the show like y'all came for me the one time I did that.
One time.
That I ate wings? It was just once. I remember the trip. It was when I went to.
It was the way you ate them.
Illinois.
Real.
Yeah, it was when
I
went to. Yeah, okay. Says the guy who's.
Make it so good, make you slap your mama.
Right, I was just about to say that. And he puts another wing in his mouth. He's supposed to be asking me a question. This man just put another wing in his mouth.
Oh, was it my turn?
Oh my God.
It's one of you twos.
Now he's got this faux British response. Is it my turn?
Oh gosh.
The wheels are falling off.
Oh my God.
Bless your EP.
I got one for you. Would you rather peak early or late in your career?
Ooh.
100% late. So if you're promising me there's a peak, I definitely want to have as long a crescendo to the peak as possible. Because I don't think there's anything worse than peaking early and then people still watching you suck for that while after that.
See,
No, I'm being serious. I feel like that's the worst.
and having, I mean,
Though it may be more financially beneficial to peak early.
well,
For sure.
today's model says yes.
For sure.
I'm, and I, in some respects, I have to put myself in that category. Today, or I guess it was today, a young man from Italy jumped 844 and finally beat the longest jump ever by an under 20 athlete, all conditions considered. And I did that in 1991, right? And you know, like, but here's the thing, and this will be the situation with him. When will he know how to win titles? When will he figure out how to put together a string of competitions to go into championships and to be that guy? You know?
Yeah, but see, he doesn't have the issue you had. Like, he might win titles now. Your issue is you did that in the peak of Carl Lewis, Larry Myrick's, Mike Powell,
Joe Green's
careers.
Right?
That's just
Eric
just
Walters.
Unfortunately, you know, a bad birthday kind of thing. Like, I would love to be an 844 guy now as opposed to then, because you don't have to think you're special. You are special.
Yes, you're right.
When you jumped 840, you were just good enough to get your boat. I mean, I'm not sure. That's not a diss. He knows exactly what I mean. Like, he jumped 840 when there were a bunch of 850 something guys competing.
I still had to wait 4 years to win my first NCAA title. Like,
correct.
Right. So,
would you rather see Jokic and the Nuggets win the NBA title, or Jimmy Butler and the Heat?
Can we just call him by what should be his legal name, Jimmy Jordan? Because he's clearly Michael Jordan's illegitimate child. That's not even. I don't even think that's arguable anymore. I think, like, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. I think people really get that it's true at this point. You said, would I rather see?
Would you rather see Jimmy and the Heat win it, or Jokic and the Nuggets win it?
You know, I'm going to channel my inner Clyde here. I'm here for the chaos. I want to see the Nuggets win just because nobody wants that, right? And the Nuggets, like, if we're going to call it what it is, the Nuggets are the most disrespected best team in the NBA, maybe in history. Like, we're acting like this is a surprise because we all are surprised. The Nuggets were the number 1 seed in the West, right? They went through the whole season. They were better than everybody, but we all discredited them and figured that either the Warriors or the Lakers were going to win in the West. I don't know anybody who picked the Nuggets, right? So at the end of the day, I'm here for it. I want to see the Nuggets win just because I think Jamal Murray is, like, really that dude. And, you know, I don't think Joker's the best big man to ever play the game. You hear these wild things, but I will say this. I think that the Joker might be the most skilled basketball player in the NBA. Just overall collection of skills in the game currently.
I'll ride with that.
Like,
he's the best big man in the game today, not ever.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, for sure. I don't think that's really arguable.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about AD no more. I'll tell you that.
I thought that was laughable. Listen to all the Laker fans when after they beat the Warriors talk about how they were going to dismantle the Nuggets, and I was like, how? like literally the Nuggets they were the worst possible matchup for the Lakers.
Yes.
Deeper, younger, and more skilled across the board. Like, that was never ever a good thing.
Yeah. If only KD get his job done.
But I will say it will be wild if the Heat win, because then the regular season really doesn't matter, right? Like, Dude, the Heat lost a play-in game.
Yeah, they did.
It is.
Right? Like they were as quote unquote bad during the regular season as you can be and still make the playoffs, just about.
Oh wait, I got one more petty one for you. Chu's gonna love this. Would you rather see LeBron retire or go to the Warriors?
Oh,
I mean, for sure, I'd rather see LeBron go to the Warriors. I don't think either of those scenarios are possible. But I'm glad you didn't.
Wait a minute. It works.
Oh, sure. But I'm just glad you didn't ask me the reverse. I'm glad you didn't ask me about Clay going to the Lakers, because I definitely don't want to see that.
You send Wiggins, Kuminga, and Jordan Poole to the Lakers. It works.
No, for sure. That like a Warriors Laker trade for LeBron could for sure happen, right? Like the numbers work because the Warriors have a roster that's not like anybody else's. They have a bunch of pieces and they make enough money to make major trades work. I was telling somebody this yesterday, like the Warriors really and truly should trade for Dame because they can. Like they have the pieces and the salary to move to get a $50 million guy. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think any of it's going to happen. I definitely don't think that LeBron's going to be a Warrior.
okay, stop this.
It wouldn't be like KD. He put them out of the playoffs.
I don't even know what like ether you guys are in right now. Like, just get out.
See,
No
Sue
way.
doesn't like it at all. She hates
No, at all. Like, not a piece of it. Not even like the smell in the air. Stop
What's
it.
funny is, can you imagine the
Mathematically,
amount?
it works.
Like, wait, but listen to the amount of vitriol that LeBron and LeBronites would take if Bron joined the Warriors to win his 5th and 6th ring.
No.
Like,
Understand. The Warriors put KD out of the playoffs, and then he joined them. LeBron put them out. It's not the same.
I mean, that's all cute. I'm just saying it would be hilarious to see LeBron be like, look, let's just call it what it is. I'm not winning a ring unless I join them, right? And then did it. That would be hilarious.
Oh, I'm so here for it.
Right?
Stop.
LeBron going
look.
to the Warriors. Here's the funny part. LeBron going to
I'm here for it.
LeBron going to the Warriors would end like his best buddy's career. Because if he goes to the Warriors, they get rid of Draymond.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Draymond's happy. They get rid of Jordan Poole. He's happy.
Yes, but you can't. If you bring LeBron on, you can't have Draymond.
They can.
Because LeBron then is the way better version of Draymond in that offense. You run the offense through LeBron the way you did Draymond. Only he can actually really score.
Stop. Just
We
stop.
good.
I'm muting you. Look, oh no. Look, our friend Panda showed me something. Hold on. Look, I'm going to make you all wait for this one. Look, where is it? No. And then speed it up. That is some, huh? Oh my gosh. Just stop it. Just stop it.
I will say this for real though. I am really here for Dame going back to the Bay. Like, I actually think that should happen. Trade Jordan Poole. Yeah, if we just trade Poole, Kuminga, which I don't want to get rid of, to be honest, but Poole, Kuminga, and like a couple of picks, and we get Dame back, I'm here for that.
You want Bron?
No, I don't actually. I love Bron, I do, but I'd rather. As far as continuing to run it back as a splash brother, just having Jordan Poole gone and replacing those splash shots taken by Dame, I am here for that.
Look, you're getting the international no sign.
She was so upset by this idea.
And it's just foolery. I can't even understand it. It's like me learning Chinese all over again. I don't get it. Anyways.
The worst part about it is if Bron became a warrior, that then means somehow they're going to have to manipulate the whole world of the draft to get Bronny.
Look, you're my heartbeat props to get some common sense. That Austria air is getting to you. That's it. Stop it. Anyways,
Hey,
heartbeat props time. Yeah, I'm ending this conversation. Zip it.
I like it. Hey,
Zip it.
he brought it up. I didn't. I don't want LeBron as a warrior.
You keep talking about it. Stop
Hey,
giving me
my heartbeat props is very simple tonight. We have a bunch of babies here at the Western Prelims, and they were awesome today. And so to Mr. Ajamu Reed in the long jump, we're going to Austin, Texas, brother. I love it. To Mr. Warren, who has advanced to the quarterfinals in the day, from out of the top 25 to into the top 24. I love it. To Demarius Waters, bravo, young man. And to TJ Harris and Ernie Clark, who helped me get this job done and helped, with all of those young men today. Beautiful job, fellas. Can't wait to see what the ladies do tomorrow.
Heartbeat props to all the allergy sufferers out there.
heartbeat props to all the pharmacists who make the Claritin.
I love all y'all. I feel your pain, and
oh my God,
here's a chew to you. See what I did there?
Drink some hose water and toughen up.
Right.
Oh man.
Oh my.
Here's a chew to you. All right.
Yes, my heartbeat props go out to all the collegiate baseball players whose careers, seasons are coming to an incredibly abrupt and brutal end this weekend with their conference tournaments. The finality of baseball careers is brutal. You're with all your buddies and playing the game you love, and you're a senior and you're not going to get drafted, and the harsh reality that baseball is that you've been playing since you were 4 is now over, is soul crushing to those young men. And I will say my heartbeat props for sure go out to all of those young men who are now facing the inevitable end of their careers, not at their own hands, unfortunately. I wish you all the very best. I know you all end up being great leaders in your communities going forward, and there is life after baseball.
So for real, I do have heartbeat props, not fake ones like before. To those who are, to those coaches who are going to soon be affected by the carousel, because the conversations are already starting and this and that and the third, and so
I didn't know that was happening. No.
Yes, so conversation happening. I mean, we're at the first round of interviews right now, are we not? So so blessings to everyone.
Some deals are already done, right?
We all are able to, I don't know, withstand, I guess is the best word, what's to come this year of changes. So heartbeat props to all the coaches out there in whatever sport you're in. So with that said, thanks for withstanding our foolery tonight. I will say this out loud again, because there was a comment made, and I'll keep saying this every once in a while. Remember, for those of you who were used to watching or listening, to us on the Gills podcast or Gills Connection, we are no longer being streamed on that. So if you've never tried it, you can turn your YouTube on and not have the screen on, and it's just the same thing, FYI, or just walk away from your device and you can hear it. But so you can, we are not off. We are still doing our deal. just no longer on guild connection. So other than that, everyone, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hope everybody's fruitful and plentiful going into the championship in Austin or wherever your respective championship is concluding this week in the other divisions. We'll see each other soon. Bye, everyone.